Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today we're going to check out a game called Enderain by Sci-Fi Games. Now this is a futuristic science fiction miniatures game. It is miniatures agnostic. What does miniatures agnostic mean? That means you can use any miniatures you want to play this game. It of course would work well with miniatures, say from something like Warhammer 40k. You could use Star Wars miniatures for it. You could use 3D printed miniatures that fit in a science fiction setting in it as well. So some really cool stuff. Now, I got sent this by the people at Sci-Fi Games who made Enderain. They asked for people to give it a look, so we're going to give it a check out. And so to start off with, this is what I received from them. First of all, a cool book for Enderain. Now, it should be said that Enderain has its own world. So they have made a setting for Enderain, though, like I said, it's miniatures agnostic, and you can use this to represent any game system you want. We also got sent this little box here. This little nice 3D printed piece. This is for experience trackers of all your different members, which is really cool. A couple of dice, which are for the game itself, and a deck of cards, which will become apparent as we sort of go through the game. And so let's take a look inside this rulebook. First of all, we got a bunch of cheat sheets. I love a good cheat sheet in a game. I think this makes some excellent work, making stuff easy. There are a few cheat sheets because this is very much a narrative focused game on sort of building your team. So let's just go through and have a look by Jason Temple and Amy Hefford. I hope I got your names correct there, guys. But you can check this out. So published by Sci-Fi Games, all inquiries and website there. You can see, let's just bring them on the camera. Website, enderain.com, team at enderain.com for any inquiries via email. And then we got straight into the rules here for a bunch of, a really nicely laid out contents. And then, yeah, introduction. So, effectively how this game goes. So, to get started in the game, you're going to need a map. It can be played solo, which is really cool. I love a good solo play game. People know I love Elder Scrolls Call to Arms, which is a fantastic solo player game. And you can also play in 2 to 4 players as well, with your board size increasing. Using a 3x3 table, on average, a solo game takes about an hour, 30 minutes for each additional player added to the game. Your in-game tracker is this little beauty here. Which will, the team tracker has dice slots to mark wounds on your team members numbered 1 to 8, and bot R, and a hired mercenary specialist S. The reason why you've got these is so your bot, and your robot, and your specialist, your hired merc, won't gain experience, but the rest of your dudes can, depending on if they're specialists or not. And then you've got your team roster, which is a PDF freely downloadable from the Enderain website you can pick up. Game counters. Now, they don't have game counters available yet. These can be made using MDF bases. They do have, stickers that you can print out from their website as well, which I think is really cool. But, you can definitely find, I think, little markers or something, or indeed a tracker by the side of the table, just a bit of bookkeeping. Measuring distances, it does say to go on, different. It really leaves it up to you on how you want to measure distances, base to base, making sure everything's on a similar sized base. Generally, they advise to try and have all miniatures on the same size base of 25mm, though maybe 32 with how a lot of scale of miniatures are going. Visions and facing, we've got 360-degree arc of facing. Character types, you generally are split into 4. So you're split into your skilled characters. These are characters that have roles during the game. You have unskilled characters who are just recruits. They're effectively your red shirts, a bot, and a mercenary. So every warband can get a bot, which is really cool. And then it's just going down, a whole bunch of stuff. Group activations and dice pool and effects, going through all that standard sort of stuff. Goes through ending a game, gaining experience for your characters, and pretty much improving your squad. This, to me, seems like a very powerful narrative game. Really just building, a bunch. It has a lot of like hacker and that style sci-fi, so very anime style sci-fi is what I sort of think of when I look at this. And then we go into creating a team. So generally it will say as the captain, you have some cash to hire and equip into your team. Let's not talk about where you got the money from. A captain gets 1500 G to spend for both a one-off battle and recruiting at the start of a campaign. A team is always consists of 8 core members, plus 1 optional bot, which, everyone's always going to pick a bot. I think this has been one of the coolest things, is being able to have, a little robot friend in your group. One of these is the captain's assistant, a number 2. For a specific mission, you can also hire mercenary specialists as well. For a one-off game, you may decide to create a high-quality team for 1700. So it recommends when you're playing one-off games to be 1700. But you also wish to use high-level rolls and powers or a completely random mix. Roll a d12 and consult the random composition below. So, it can give you a nice, cool random composition. I like these. These are fun for campaign stuff. Now, your dubious obtained money does not all have to be spent on creating your team, obviously. Saving gold at this starting point apparently will help you throughout the course of the campaign. Now, of course, we're going to look to get some models for this game. I want to get model specific, so I'm going to be looking at the 3D printing market for stuff. And so, roles. It's talking about, these are different things, and we've got like our little cheat sheet here, which sort of goes through a bunch of the roles, so you can see on here we've got things like medics, weapon techs, hackers, grenadiers, gunners, sniper, tactics specialist, scout, soldier, assassin, close combat, remote controller, and then powers on the other side as well. So, like I said, it's a very, very sort of anime style with those assassins, drones, and hackers, and all that sort of stuff. Very much leading me into that sort of style of sci-fi, that post-apocalyptic world style sci-fi. Now, you can also have cyborgs. Both your captain and his number 2 can be cyborgs. Cyborgs effectively can just get a little bit better. So a cyborg gains an additional skill point to be allocated when creating. However, this cannot be allocated to their leadership. Cyborgs can raise their capacities to maximum of 6, which the maximum of normally 5 for other characters. So, getting a couple of cyborgs would be cool. Talks about hiring mercenary specialists and pretty much the steps to create your team in a nice laid out way here as well, which I really like. I like that at the end of all the really in-depth info, they've got, a simplified version. Now, as we go through, there's a bunch of others. There's not a lot of artwork in the book. There's a lot of nice little diagrams here to show sort of how stuff's happening. This is where we go into the initiative card deck. It consists of 30 numbered cards determining initiative. These cards are numbered 1 to 30, with 1 being the highest initiative and 30 being the lowest. If not using events, then the 2 event cards are removed and not used. 1 wild card per player is also shuffled into the deck at the start of the game. Maximum of 4, leaving up to 4 wild cards free to be allocated to that team, or that includes a tactics specialist. There is no limit to the number of cards a player can hold. Wild cards, these can be played as a free action, cancel activation, free action cards, fortune cards. So effectively, this deck of cards here pretty much sort of talks about how we're activating during the course of the turn. And so it's going about talking about all the game, and we do get some cool art here and there. Very much you see this style art. It really does leave me it doesn't quite look like it, but it really does remind me of anime style game still, or maybe a little bit of with hackers and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit, I guess, Star Trek-y, a little bit Star Wars-y, but definitely that sort of style. And so you've got talks of firing and using your weapons. Everyone can carry a primary and a sidearm, so you can dual wield pistols in this. You can have heavy weapons. There's just a lot of cool stuff. It really does go nicely into depth of talking about all your different shooting attacks, which is pretty much the main form of combat. Goes into drones, and like I said, you can have a bot for your team as well. I think we've passed the section where the bots are, but you can have where are we? So we can go back here to the team. Here we go. I missed them. The bots, you can have a combat bot or a support bot, which effectively is like a little walking medikit. It's pretty cool. So really dig the idea of them. This one here, this is just totally anime. Straight out of anime. Reminds me of Cyberpunk Edge Runners straight there. Hackers, very Ghost in the Shell. And you will have NPC models on the table as well, which will, do a bunch of stuff and generally be a nuisance. Goes through spawning charts and all the different rules and stuff like that. And then we go into the arms. So we've got a ton of different weapon options. Grenades, so stun, smoke, and frag grenades. You know, energy weapons as well. So energy knife, a regular knife, energy baton, plasma edge baton, ooh, fire staff, power hammer, and a laser sword. Nice. E-cells, pistols, blasters, speedbolt guns, general support weapons, buzzsaw. Okay, cool. Then we go into, you know, different, so Arkham Inc. And I think these are like all different, you know, companies that are running all different stuff. Input Tech Drones and Starstorm Partners, which is really cool. Like, we've got different sort of things. Gear, power, and rolls. So we go into gear, like respirators and stuff like that. Rolls, like we say, we sort of look through them, and depending what level sort of your characters get to, depends what abilities they're really getting for the game. NPC stats and spawnings, going through, sort of having all the things. We also have powers here as well, so we can have like Mind Readers, Time Warper, Shapeshifter, Jumper, Regenerator, you know, a bunch of cool different abilities for your fighters as well. And yeah, and so it does also talk about how we've got some template packs for some of their weapons as well, with combat templates for saw, maw, and law weapons, shredders and burner templates. You can find them all at counterattack.co. And another cool piece of art they're using the same art, but this is really, really cool. I'm quite excited to give this a crack at some point once we get some miniatures for it. I want to build a specific team, so I'm going to sort of figure out what my team is, find models that match that team, or maybe just go find 8 cool models I want to be my team, or 9 because I'll probably want the bot. But let us know what you think. This is pretty cool. Like I said, you can pick this up from Sci-Fi Games, back of the book. And yeah, you can go give them a check out on their website, enderain.com. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop us a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here, you can do so over on the Cinderful Gaming Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by joining Patreon or YouTube members, or grabbing some merch from our Teespring or Ko-fi stores, all of which are linked down in the video's description. Anyone who helps support the channel, we are greatly appreciative of. For our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out for everyone who does support the channel. So thank you to our Patreon members: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Love, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Redman, and DeHaven, Kevin Bowman, Iron Grinch, and our YouTube members: Greenridge Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lockdoric, the Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, and James South. Lastly, a special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you so much for all the work you put in on that end. With that said, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.